can't do it. Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Ask Mathis. I'm your host, Reginald Mathis, and rocking with me is my brother Wild Man Teddy T, aka Baron Theo Mound-builder. What it do?
We's in here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, for you.
Yes, we are, man. And so a story that we thought we put to bed once homie got sentenced to them 10 years.
But let's even take it back. You dropped the story about him taking the picture, and then he got stabbed, and then the very next day this came out. Let's look at the whole trilogy, how it went down.
Why don't you break it down, Teddy? Break it.
You came in and you said, let's look at this picture of this guy. And he was in the middle looking all swole up, and then 4 days later, he got stabbed. And then the next day,
this story drops about the press conference with the bodyguard. It's basically saying that he saw the other young lady. Now, who is this other young lady that they're saying was her best friend? Like, did she just get famous as her best friend, or was she doing something as with Bad Girls Club, Mean Girls Club, or something like that?
Friend. She's just her friend.
So why are they protecting her?
She started off with Ben Simmons.
Okay, but then that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they was together with Ben Simmons because they date these guys in twos. They date them.
Okay, but that's the point. So she got enough. So she has enough where she can apply to be on Basketball Wives because she done provided services to someone in the league.
Yeah.
I was watching Basketball Wives. I used to watch the show, and I haven't watched it in a while, but something caught my attention yesterday. They have a WNBA player in the Basketball Wives right now, and she's a predator.
Ooh,
she is a predator. I like her. Her name is Ty. And so I read up on it. She played, she was like, she went to James Madison. She was the first player from James Madison drafted in WNBA. She played like good career, like 12 years. She got a clothing line, and she is a predator. Like she hit him and quit him. She hit him and quit him. But as you and I say, as we sometimes opine,
right.
You know what I'm saying? What happened if somebody go to fiddling? In the what happened? So she actually went to a in vitro spot with another chick to look about freezing her eggs, and she had 14 eggs, and they showed it, and the way she was sitting up there, bruh, and she was she really hadn't had a lot of stuff. Rolling up in the deep like that.
Right.
And that's sexy to some people. To some people, not me. But to some people they look at it as a conquest. But she is she's going through the basketball that want to, because she get the ones that want to experiment, and she get the ones that want to go all the way on the other side. So she got the best of both worlds. And she kind of cute. So, anyway, but the thing with Megan Thee Stallion, man, she comes out and says that, how many times I got to tell y'all that the man shot me. So she's doubling down. But she's already lied, because remember, she admitted when she gave the interview with Gayle King about being intimate with Tory Lanez, and she said no, and then came back and said, Maury Povich, that was a lie. That was a lie, right? So she's already let you know that, lying is whatever, because think about it. Her mama and daddy dead. So she I don't have to. What I owe y'all?
Megan seems like the type, she's going to say anything at the time because she doesn't really want the confrontation. So she'll be like, yes, whatever,
Because I think she feels like her reputation has just gotten rehabilitated. That she feels like, man, I just made it through that storm, and now I can go back because, bro, they got her set up. Whether it's Jigga, whether it's Rock Nation, bro, they got her set up to be the next, to be right now.
I mean, the
commercials, music, tours, they got her set up to be right now.
You know what happened? Because her and Glorilla was together, and Glorilla passed her. Like Glorilla ran past her quickly when they did the tour together. And Megan was ahead of Glorilla, and Megan gave Glorilla all the game, and Glorilla just ran past her. So they have to bring Megan.
But they all tied in. They all under Jay-Z because Jay-Z. Because she with Yo Gotti, and Yo Gotti, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm. But still, competition is competition because Mary J. Blige and Faith was in the same camp, and they secretly hated each other or looked at the competition. So
because they had personal elements. Faith, Mary was like Puffy's favorite, but Faith was really he really depended on Faith.
Yeah, she had her pen game strong. Pen game strong.
Everybody know money gonna move Puff.
Yeah. So what's the latest on Tory? He's in Critical, Stable. What's the latest? Do we know? Step,
I really don't know. It's like they talked about the guy who stabbed him, and his background, how he stabbed other people, and he's in life.
Yeah, say he's doing life. He got 2 bodies, and supposedly he Tory was eyeing his wife, on the visitation. So you never know when something go left. When you're in prison, man, anything can happen, bro. Somebody that's cooking the oatmeal burnt it, or got you feeling bad, and that's enough to lose your life today.
We done it before, and you ain't got nothing else.
You don't got nothing else to lose. Like, what? How many more lives can you give me? You already got 2.
I don't know if I can go for that excuse though.
So you don't think he's the guy? Why would they let Tory, who's only doing a 10-year bid, be around somebody doing 2 life sentences?
And he's a celebrity on top of that.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one, Step. Like, why would they be in the same circle? That's like putting Chauvin, the guy that choked out George Floyd, putting him in general population, with the gorillas, or something like that. Like, how long did Jeffrey Dahmer live? He didn't live in prison not too long.
At all.
They show him getting got in the bathroom. I'm like, got you.
Yep.
He ain't surviving. Nobody cried.
It's got organized hit for me all over.
I mean, it makes sense because this is about to come out. If he goes down, then there's no story.
Perfect timing.
You know what I'm saying? Because how else is this gonna come out the next day like that?
Wow. Maybe. Oof.
Somebody must have got whiff of it, got heard of it. Hey.
Today. Give sleeping. Bring him out anyway. Give sleeping. But yo, man, how did Trump let this Mexican ship in here? Now we trying to send all the Mexicans up out of here, and you let a Mexican come in here and train in Brooklyn? Bruh, really? Where the DEI? I haven't heard the DEI. What? Oh no, look at this comment. Cinco de Mayo. Show the tape, man. Like, this tape is crazy right here. It's like, man, they got.
I didn't understand it. I was here. I watched it the day on the morning. I was like, what?
Bruh.
I didn't know if it was a plane. They said the
boat.
I was like,
I guess they didn't take the measurements. They didn't take the measurements.
Oh, there's no damage to the bridge.
Right.
The Brooklyn Bridge.
Hey, it's Brooklyn in the house. That's what they were trying to, blame on the in Baltimore. What happened in Baltimore? They're saying that they didn't have it fortified,
right.
As we can see. You know what I mean? Like, if the Baltimore had this in the harbor, perhaps, who knows? But there you go, man. There you go.
Now It's like TV. It's like watching reality TV. Like when things just pop up. Like we watching the guy from the skateboard guy who's ridiculous. Like that's what
Yeah.
news is becoming.
Yeah, that's what it is.
News
Just
is
sitting there watching.
ridiculous.
Bruh, so y'all heard about, man, the 10 guys that rolled up out of New Orleans, man.
Yeah.
They done turned that into a straight up parody, man. Cause this dude right here, man, he just gave up, man. He's like, man, I can't go nowhere. But I can't go nowhere. He's like, man, y'all find me when y'all find me, man. I'm you know what? This as far as I could go.
That's it.
Cause they can't go in. I saw a parody that Freezy posted. He posted a parody, man, 2 guys pretending to be like 2 of the guys running away. They can't get no driver's license. They can't get no car. They can't get nothing. And they running around, man, and they just finally say, man, let's see if we can break back in. see if we can break back in, like how we just gonna give ourselves up.
And this person got 10K for this.
Yeah, because it's 10K on each one of the dudes. So, bruh.
Hey, when that 10K come out, you can't even go home to your family.
Hey, man. Exactly. Tell me, hey, let me make you something. Let me make you something nice. You know, nice meal. You wake up next, you shackled to the bed, waiting on the police to get here. Tell me, somebody was gonna get it. Might as well be your people.
That's it.
Might as well be your people, man. And this guy, bruh, even when he trying to be sympathetic, he can't be sympathetic, man. And his vice president, I guess our vice president, is so clownish. You know, they basically trying to say that Biden, man, who just told everybody he got, prostate cancer, and is pretty aggressive, basically saying, man, leave me alone. I'm already 82. I'm about to be out of here. I'm about to be out of here. Isn't that enough for y'all? I'm about to be up out of here. It's all in my bones.
Now they're showing all of his times he fell going up and down Air Force One, and like they really got Biden bloopers. Biden bloopers are showing on CNN, bro.
Bruh. He was almost our next president.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was the
president.
He was almost about to do another 4 more years.
They couldn't though because they was like, no.
No, after that debate, bro,
that debate was like everybody saw it then, like
dude, but ain't no such thing as stage 9.
I know, right?
I do too. He got stage 9 cancer, man. Just say the man got cancer. We praying for him, praying for the recovery, and leave it at that, man. So here your man is right now, Gene Deal, bro. Like, what happened to snitches get stitches, bro? What happened to non-disclosure agreements? What happened to any of that stuff? Cause buddy. Anybody got a camera, he got something to say about.
He felt, Diddy's they betrayed him.
Is that how he feels? Is that what's behind him going on just telling? So how can he get another job if you know that that's what you're gonna do?
He gonna get paid on these interviews for the rest of his life.
Well, you thinking he's charging?
Like the one thing,
Absolutely.
when him and Biggie was getting high, and when he went to leave, he said, "Hey man, I don't think Gene should go because Gene's been smoking with me all day. Let's get another person to go with us." You know what I'm saying? And he got mad because of that. Like if I was there, then but they didn't want Gene to be there. You know what I'm saying? So they put another. And so what? They always get high. I mean, he ain't gonna get high to where he's gonna be, not knowing what's going on. But he had just mentioned it to Puff, and he was like, "Nah, Gene, I think you need to stay." So they put another person with Big, So
at this point, I'm starting. To
and that dude did a movie. Mm-hmm. That bodyguard did a movie.
And then they got the other bodyguard now, that. The same dude he covered because they're trying to say that he was in more because Cassie bought the other bodyguard up, the same guy that replaced him. Cassie bought him up in the case the other day.
So before we get to the trial, man, let's see what he's talking about, because now he's talking about your man, Al B. Sure, because Al B. Sure done started coming out there basically saying like he believes that Puff ordered, something somebody gave him that put him in a coma, had organ failure, and is opining that that's happened to Kim Porter. So let's see what he got to say.
About that interview he did some days ago, where he said that he believed that Diddy was behind him having organ failure and him being in a coma.
Well, Al is my man. Me and Al is cool. So Al is a good dude. You know what I mean? And if Al believes that, I believe that Al believes that. And I think it may have some truth to it, because Puff may have used somebody to give Al something that could have caused that. There's a possibility.
So you think Diddy is that powerful that he can have something like that done from a distance?
Bruh, let me just tell you something, man. He must got proof, bruh, because you got to realize Al is famous. Puff is famous. You can't make statements like that unless you got some proof. And I believe Al got some proof on that.
Speaking of Al B. Short,
it goes deep, right? Because Shakur, what's his name? Shakur that was working with Def Jam.
Shockley?
He
talking about Shockley that they found sex did with suicide.
He was dating her. He was sleeping with Kim. You know what I'm saying? And then Kim was telling everything. She was telling everything. Andre had a heart attack. Like, it's really dark, and it adds up. You know, once everything comes into place, you know, it's really a lot of lotters. That's all I want to say.
Okay, so let's get into the trial, man. So, as y'all know, we're in week 2 of the Diddy trial right now, man. I think the odds are maybe 50-50 of an acquittal, simply because, you know, what I would potentially be saying, and I got, you know, a big bro here, Attorney Reggie. We see whether or not, you know, he agrees with this assessment, and that is that, you know, all they doing right now is just painting him as, you know, a rock star.
That's it.
That's what he was. A rock star, a famous guy with money. And being a famous guy with money, they do things, it's always, you know, I'm doing something that y'all ain't never seen before. And again, that go back to my favorite movie, Going to the Mac. You know, what happens, what get everybody, you know, PO'd in the pool hall scene when China Dog comes in there, when Pretty Tony's in there talking, when he rolling the dice, he said, man, in 1 second, that's all right, even though I'm losing, you know, my baby gonna be in here with more money than y'all have ever seen before. And once they said more money than we ever seen before, that's when Pretty Tony woke up. I mean, that's when Goldie woke up and said, more money than we ever seen, man? What are you over here talking about? Then Pretty Tony doubles down. He talking about, man, one time, you know, my baby came in here with over $100,000 and they ain't even touch her. And she bringing me $100,000 and they ain't even touching her. And then, you know, they start putting the money out there. So when it comes to, you know, that type of stuff, man, that's what people do. You want to distinguish yourself from the common man. It's like, oh, y'all think she pretty? Y'all don't even know what pretty is. Pretty, if she don't have, you know, a tail coming out her butt, that ain't really, y'all don't even know about that beauty. Y'all don't even know about the mermaid beauty. And you sitting there talking about, man, y'all keep the mermaid booty. Like, I don't need no mermaid ass. I don't need no mermaid booty. Right? And it's like, yeah, exactly. That's right. You're a commoner. You're a peon. You're a peasant. And then folks that's in that circle that's coming around or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They're like, nah, man, you know, no. Y'all don't even know. Like, until, you know, she got to be a dime, you know, from the waist up. But then from the bottom down, you know what I mean? She got to be packing like a mule. Like, huh? Yeah, man, that's true beauty. Man, what you talking about? Yeah, I know, man. Y'all, if you don't know about that, man, then you don't know about it. Then you don't know. And folks be like, well, you know what? I don't want to know about it. Okay, that's why you ain't famous. That's why you ain't famous. But if you want to be famous, now imagine that, bro. This man been in this game now, you know, 30 years. So folks who grew up watching Big, watching Craig Mack, transitioning into Mace, transitioning into Day 26, Danity Kane, Rob, Black Rob, Loon, just continue to go up. He got somebody in every generation, and when you see him, it's like, okay, and they was talking about his assets. Say he got a plane, $25 million, 20 ultra luxury vehicles, a 25-room mansion in California, properties in New York, properties in Miami, liquid $400 million that you can put your hands on. Not just talking about assets that can be appreciated, but $400 million, if you're in the tight, you can go in there and pull. Come on, bruh. People living check to check. People killing over $500. So you got an opportunity to roll with this dude. And, be in the parties and be in all the other stuff or whatever. How many people who trying to get into the industry, you don't got to make them do that, bro. That's my point. You don't got to make them do that.
I mean, I'm telling you, the bathhouse, which originally started down here at Versace's mansion, is the original element.
Hold on. Our special commentator says, Attorney Reggie says, being freaky ain't against the law. Character assassination does not equate to evidence of guilt. At this point, Puffy gets an acquittal. At this point. Exactly. That's exactly, my sentiments. You looking at it, and that's what they're doing. When they're coming out, if this, that's all you got? Like, y'all coming out there showing that, doing all this stuff, and she's the one setting up the, she's setting up the freak offs. She's picking the guys, and here we go right now. They just released the dudes. They just released the pictures of the dude. Now, which one of these dudes? Now, I would tell you, the dude at the bottom, the third, I would say the second and the third, look like they was probably chosen for Puffy. They look like they was chosen for Puffy. They don't look like Cassie would have chose them. Number 2 and number 3 look like those were Diddy's choices. I'm listening. I'm waiting. I'm just saying, my opinion. My opinion is what you say, Step.
I can't speak on that part. I would
just look at the images, bro.
This look like dudes to me.
Okay, all right. See, you're not confident in who you are. I'm very confident. I'm very confident in who I am, and I'm just looking at the dudes.
For me, see, this guy, he ain't gonna let nobody hit him because that's weakness. He's hitting everybody.
Oh, because remember they said, remember they were saying to your point, one of the people that they said that he was hitting was Carl Winslow from Family Matters. One of the people they said he was alleged to hit was Carl Winslow from Family Matters. So to your point, Teddy. When you look at the list, like I would say, Buddy, maybe he was in his DMX phase at one point, and you see the dude in the center, but the dude number 1, 2, 3 in the second row, probably mudded Cassie. He probably ain't like that. He probably ain't like that.
It isn't like that. These are the only 2 people that they're doing freak offs with. These guys are sex workers.
But they was getting them in like Backpage or it wasn't like they had them in the regular. No. I'm saying they're out there working it, but I'm saying like if you're having to go, it should have been like, remember the Madam and Charlie Sheen and all those guys, and what did Charlie, when he was saying, man, Tiger Blood and all this other stuff, it was like, man, you're a movie star, you are this, you are that. Why you paying this woman or whatever? He say, you're right, man, I don't gotta pay no woman to sleep with him. I pay him to leave.
Yeah, that's the key.
I pay him
so you can leave.
Yeah, I pay him to leave. I pay him to leave.
Did he had when he was on something? I think it was Breakfast Club or something. He was like, "Oh yeah, Dad, I like him squealing and."
Have you heard the audio that Nicki Minaj did with Meek Mills and Puff Daddy? Have you ever heard that audio? You listen to that audio. That scares you because you hear Meek Mills and you hear Puffy's voice. And this bodyguard act like he did it, but Nicki Minaj is the one who really recorded it because that's when Nicki was with Meek. You see, like that's when Nicki was with Puff, and Nicki was with Meek during this time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's why for me, I'm in the elements of like I said, the bathhouse. The bathhouse started in the 90s. So by the time 2000,
before that, because that's where they say the AIDS came from the guy who was the flight attendant.
Right.
Say the flight attendant was the one because that's how they said it was spreading because he was in those bathhouses, in the early 80s and was in
85. That Besatis, Russell Simmons, all of them, South Beach. And then, but by the time when it got to when I was at Uptown, it was a dude that was there. He was like, "You seen the house I got?" I went to the bathhouse. My wife, it's like that's the Down Low brothers that then moved to Atlanta because all these dudes were the top, executives. They all had families, but they all wanted those big houses. They all wanted that. So that was how they got in. So now, 2005. Puff is like it's old. So now they got more special. So now you got certain celebrities that want certain. They don't want to be with. They don't.
So they're trying to keep Justin Bieber out of this. They're trying to keep. They're trying to keep Usher out of this.
More information.
They're trying to keep Beyonce out of this. They're trying to keep Jay-Z out of this. And of course, the number one person. Who is the number one person they're trying to keep out of this? Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez, number one person they trying to keep up out of this.
She knows a lot.
And then here my man is right here, Gene Dill, man. This man talking about Albie Shure's son, Quincy, who looked just like him, and just
he called Diddy daddy. He said, "You my homeboy."
Oh man, yeah, he called his daddy his homie.
Yeah,
he called his daddy his homie because he's like, this been my guy, but he never adopted him. But he's showing up at the funeral when his dad has just come out with allegations that this guy's responsible for when his organs failed.
1988, I'll Be Sure came out on Uptown. You know what I'm saying? And I believe he did all of his music himself. I think he was the only one at the time that did everything himself. Did everything.
Because remember. Who was backing Albie Shore? Who he won the Quincy Jones, and that's how he got the son's name because and Quincy Jones doubled down on Albie Shore when he did the Back on the Block album. When he did the Back on the Block album, he brought Albie Shore in that Secret Garden song, and he was like Albie Shore with Barry White. And El DeBarge and James Ingram and all these dynamic singers, he replaced Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. Michael Jackson was supposed to be on Secret Garden, and Michael Jackson didn't do it. And he pulled
because y'all remember Al Beach? It was that summer. It was Keith Sweat, Teddy Pendergrass, and Al B. Sure. Those were the three biggest albums of the summer, along with Casanova, the single. Teddy Pendergrass album and Guy's album even came out that 88 too. We was still in school.
No, Guy came out like 90.
No, 88.
You think?
The first Guy came out.
Groove Me?
Yes. Because remember New
Jack
City?
Google that, man. Google that Guy Groove Me album, man. Google that now, man. Nah, because I'm gonna tell you, I graduated in 88, son. And then 80. Look, I'm gonna tell you, 88. What was bumping in the streets? Keith Sweat. Make It Last Forever. That was the first time that I heard slow jams like being acceptable when we doing the parade. Now, at least in Pompano. Now, I can't speak for Lauderdale. I can't speak for Miami, but I tell you, Pompano was the first time it was acceptable to go and do the parade around the neighborhood with your windows down, with everybody hearing that 808 booming. Keep sweating.
Right in the wrong way of love.
And when I went to college in '88, I'll be sure, night and day, the stonewash era. The stonewash jeans, where you wear jeans so tight you got a pocket for each nut, right? You didn't know what the stonewash, and the dudes got the that's when light skin was
on top.
Was on top. Light skin was on top. You had a box. You had a box, and you had a cabriolet VW going around town, boy, going around the Atlanta University Center in Atlanta. You was one of them dudes at that point, man. You had your selection. You ain't even have to have no game. You didn't have to have no game, bro. You could have been a mute. All you had to do was be like,
that's it.
That's all you had to do, bro. You was in there. And that was like, we didn't know what he was saying, bro, for the years. That one song, that song right there, it's called Naturally Mine. I was saying, you out your mind. No, my cousin was saying, you out your mind. And I was saying, he was saying, you out your mind. I was like, your mind. And then when you finally look at the lyric sheet, it's saying you naturally mine. It was just the vibe. So he was ahead, to your point, Teddy. He was ahead of the whole mumble age. Where it's like, who cares about the words? I mean, what Michael Jackson was, when you say like, Mama say, Mama sa, Mama kusa, we didn't know what he was saying either. Or even with Dennis Edwards and Saida Garrett, don't look any further. We didn't know what they were saying. Come on. It just sounded good. And I think that opened up that era where you going with your vibe.
Remember, because then they tried to throw Christopher Williams in the joint. And he ate Christopher Williams. Christopher Williams had the one song.
They cousins.
Yeah, I know.
Or at least they said they were. Even though they said they were. And they said, because, bruh, he got every chick. Because he had Halle Berry before people even knew about Halle Berry. Christopher Williams did. And he had the reputation that he was the one to bust her eardrum. So they made him into an abuser.
Like back then, Andre Harrell, Uptown, coming in with Heavy D.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then Guy. And then, because he always managed.
Mary J. Blige and Jodeci.
Yeah, well, he had Jodeci. Mary came late. But
I'm saying, Uptown, you had Heavy D, Jodeci. Like, all the black music was coming from Uptown. Coming from Uptown.
MCA became MCA.
Father MC.
Yeah, MCA, they bought Uptown out. MCA bought Uptown out.
And see, now that you remind me, Father MC posed for Playgirl.
Oh yeah, Father was the one. Father, he
came. And Puffy tried to come with that look. With that whole look, he stole Father MC's look and swag.
Everything about him, and that's why he made Luke sign Father MC. Luke had Father MC.
I didn't know that.
We had Father MC.
Wow.
I already knew him from Uptown, so it was like I had to work this project, and he poked out Shaka Zulu's tires, because Shaka didn't play the record at that time he was supposed to play, and he ain't play. He got it barely poked his tires out.
So here's the champ, man, Floyd Mayweather. Bud say he 48 years old, and he ain't never sued nobody, no media outlet. Because they basically saying, he lying. They saying he lying about, owning, buying this and buying that. So let's watch the question, man. Let's see. Do we cry for brother Floyd? Do we cry for brother Floyd? Don't cry for me, Argentina.
No.
We just let it go. We just let it play out. Okay, let it play out. Let's see what he got to say.
Okay, so let's talk about the Business Insider article that ran.
Yes.
We debunked this reporting, but the gist of it was that Dan Geiger, the BI reporter, said that you didn't do the $400 million Black Spruce deal. And you sued BI and Geiger for defamation recently. you said that Geiger harassed you and your family through hundreds of phone calls. And you also said his reporting was racially biased. What do you hope to get out of suing Geiger? Why did you do that?
Well, I leave that to the judge. I leave that to the lawyers. I just want the people to know. I'm 48 years old. I know you guys want to talk about real estate. Only thing I'm doing is answer the questions.
That is a real estate question.
Okay, so out of 48 years, I'm 48 years old.
Go for the next, yeah.
And I've never sued a media outlet. The media outlet throughout my life has bashed me, talked bad about me, spoke bad about my family. Now, I've always been judged because how I have presented myself when I'm promoting a fight. You cannot judge me for entertaining the people when I'm promoting a fight. Judge me for the person that you know. You can't judge me if you don't know me. So that's no different from people in this room may want to do a deal with me. But if someone going out there putting lies on my name, put lies on me and my team and my family and hurting my business, we're not talking about millions. We're talking about billions of dollars. We can't do that. So this is my first time ever filing a lawsuit against a media company for speaking bad about my company. I'm not a liar. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a liar. I work hard to build my name, to build my reputation, and I'm not going to let anyone go out there and smear my name and talk bad about me, talk bad about my family, and talk bad about my company.
So, what? Any questions on the cause of action or what it is? The only thing that I heard, like as far as the phone calls, that's not gonna. I don't think that's gonna survive. Without having read the lawsuit, but just as far as the phone calls in and of themselves, because if you're talking about Business Insider, you know what those phone calls likely were. Is trying to verify and get interviews to, get your side. Say, hey, champ, we got an article coming out on your, dealings and whatnot. Care to comment? And they calling and saying, hey, this is going to come out. This story is going to come out. So those calls, as opposed to just picking up saying, I got no comment, and then they supposed to stop, they probably just was ignoring the calls and never getting back to them. That's my assumption without, seeing what it is. And, Business Insider probably went and looked for, any of the known companies of Mayweather, not finding any, or looking at the actual addresses of the properties that he's, allegedly got and didn't see his name. But anytime, you doing a big money deal, right? One of the reasons that people will come to people like me is that we're either going to, create a company in Nevada. We're going to create a company in Delaware. Why? Because Delaware companies, you can't do like in Florida. You can't just go to sunbiz.org and put the name in and all your stuff come up and see who it is. Well, you got to have your address, or you got to have who it is that, when I want to sue you, who I got to send it to. And when I sue you, the person who's your registered agent got to be on site between 10 and 1 o'clock, Monday through Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you opening up a big building, in downtown Brickell, you're going to name the building 777 Brickell LLC, the address of the building. And then when they go in and look and see like who the owner is, going to say a foreign corporation. And when most people see foreign corporation, they're going to think, oh, this is owned by the Saudis. What foreign corporation simply means is that it's a non-Florida company. That makes it a foreign corporation. And you go and follow it and just try to, make it easy. So
Delaware, Wyoming, also you can do it opening.
So because these people didn't go and do their full due diligence, and now they coming out saying this man don't have what it is, or making those comments without saying allegedly, or just saying we couldn't find it, we couldn't find this, or we couldn't find his name or the name of the companies. We didn't see TMT, the money team, on none of his stuff. You know what I mean? No, you know what I mean? Like that's a good thing. I mean, his lawyers or his people did what you're supposed to do. You ain't supposed to find it.
You're supposed to know.
You ain't supposed to know. So you gonna go in there and say the man lying? Now that part I think is actionable. Now, since we're in prom season,
So how would
thank you.
how would someone it's affiliated with Business Insider wouldn't know that? Seems pretty general to me.
That's why I haven't seen the article, and I would have to see what they said. You know what I mean? Because most people will say allegedly, or would say we weren't able to find any of this. Like all the stuff that they said he bought, you know, the 100 blocks in New York and all. Because 50, if you go on 50 Cent's page, you know, he's like, you know, we can't find it. Like we can't find it. Like so 50 took that, I guess, the Business Insider and ran with it or whatever. Say, oh, we can't find it. You know, but and a lot of these bloggers and a lot of these people who are out there, they aren't journalists. So because they aren't journalists, they don't even know the rules of the game. They just out there like, hey, I want to be the first one to report on this. I just want to be first. I just want to get it out there and see if my thing can go viral. That's it. They not checking sources. They don't care. They just putting it out there.
So when does opinion meet the threshold of tarnishing someone's name?
That's a question of law. So it's not even like it's not even a spectrum. If you can point to a straight up lie, if a person just come out and repeat a lie, like a blog or you know anything, first thing you do before it becomes actionable is you have to send them a cease and desist letter. You send them a cease and desist letter saying, hey, remove that immediately, or the next thing you're going to do is I'm going to hit you for this, this, and that, right? Case in point, what did Beyonce do? What did Beyonce do 2 weeks ago when she was getting ready for the Cowboy Carter tour? She had the what do you call it in Vegas? The new arena, the Globe, the Dome, like whatever that new arena is, the Biodome or whatever it is. And in her promo for the tour, you know, she had herself like, you know, gobbling up the you know, this new $1 billion stadium that was built. They hit her with the cease and desist. Yo, we don't like the way, you know, because we control the name, image, and likeness. We don't like the way it's being depicted in what you're doing. Cease immediately. And she replaced it with an image of some random stadium, you know, just going around doing it. And there's no liability because all you got to do is put them on notice. Hey, put them on notice, bring it down. You don't bring it down then, now, boom, you open. Just like, you know, whether it's the Shade Room, whether it's Baller Alert, like whoever it is, when they go out and report a story on somebody and then that other team says, hey, that's a lie, that's not true, bring it down. Once they don't bring it down, when that suit comes, you're able to bring them into the action because they were given the opportunity to bring it down. They chose not to. So now they gotta, you know, they gotta bring it in. Just like Fox News. You know, remember Fox News doing the after the 2020 election? They got hit for like $1 billion because they was out there saying the voting machines and all that, and the folks was like, hey, y'all tripping, stop, put them on notice. They didn't bring it down. So when they came with the action, Dominions and the other groups came in there and presented their evidence like, this is how y'all tarnishing our brand. Because we are running elections all over the world. So if Fox News is reporting that somebody in Argentina is hacking or controlling or, these things when the actual elections are run individually by each state. And some of the states are using our equipment. Some of the states are using, other folks' equipment. You guys are tarnishing our brand. So y'all need to pull that down. They doubled down and boom, what happened? That's why Tucker Carlson is out. Because Tucker Carlson was the number one host on Fox. You think they just wanted him to go? He had to go. Had to go.
So like right now, that's what what's her name? Warren. What's the lady? Warren.
Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren.
They're trying to say that this thing with 60 Minutes, they're trying to say, and because they want to settle. They're like, why are you settling? Are y'all scared of him? Are y'all giving? You're intimidated, so you're giving him this money, so he allows you to get this. There's another deal that they want. There's a deal that they want.
Right, it's crazy, man. They just paid the lady's family who got killed on January 6th, $5 million. The one that they shot when she's the one that breached. And you got the guy standing behind there saying, do not come in here, do not come in here, do not come in here. And she's like, tried to use that privilege, that WP, to come in to me. Oh, they're not gonna. Wow. That's why they do not want to release who it was. It's like, please don't be a brother that shot her, man. Please don't be a brother that shot her. But he was definitely cleared, like the agent who shot cleared, because it's like, yo, you can't breach this. We in here locked down, and she gonna come in here like, oh yeah, we're just playing. We just having fun. We just exercising our rights, man. Like, hey, we're just, like, come on, man. So we in that FO period. That's what we living in right now. Man, if you are the parent, how many $100 bills do you think went into this viral prom dress, bro? You got some video on this dress, man, or is it just videos, man? How many $100 bills, bro?
Are those the real $100 bills too?
I mean, for it to go viral, wouldn't it have to be?
Has to be. For
it to go viral? Did somebody pay her to wear that?
I want to say 10,000.
That's more than 10 bands, bro. 10 bands just on the front. Bro, because you think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, bro, it's 10 bands just on the front. Then you got 2 sides. Then you got the back. I say that's way more. I'd say probably 25 to 30.
I might say more than that.
I'm not. Hey, I'm just. Could be. But like, do you escort them to prom with security?
I see 10 rows.
Right.
Each.
Should be 10 to 10.
Do you escort them with an armed guard to prom? Do you let them out of your sight? Cause, bruh, I know at Ely High School, I can only speak for Ely. I can only speak for Ely High School. I can only speak for Ely High School, and I took a class. I took Photoshop. And I had a culture shock out of this world in Photoshop. We had a substitute teacher in Photoshop. And I had never seen students, when you got a grown person in the room, I done seen people do plenty of stuff behind somebody's back. But I ain't never seen them do it in a person's face. Straight up, turn the lights off, and just start throwing stuff. I'm like, whoa. So if you talking about $30,000 walking in the room, if you don't think somebody about to hit the switch and this girl gonna wake up in her drawers, then that was for display. I can't speak for BA. I can't speak for none of them other schools. But I don't think Ely was probably alone in that. If you knew somebody rolling in there with a 30,000 cash, like even if somebody just try to get a stack, so you know what I mean? Like that dress is not gonna make it out intact. It's not gonna make it out intact.
She ain't go to the dance with that.
Yeah,
pull up.
Yeah, it ain't going out intact. That dress not going out intact. I'm sorry. If I was the dad, and that's what we doing, I'm going. and I'm going, and everybody going to know I'm strapped. Not only am I strapped, but I'm strapped Army style. I'm coming like step. I'm coming with that thing going across. I'm going with it coming across like I'm getting a bunch of y'all, and not just one. So because I know one of y'all think y'all bold enough to go in there, yeah, but he can't take all of us, but I can get 20. I get 20 of y'all. I'm blowing off legs and arms. For real. Man, I feel for this lady right here, bruh. I've been having some conversations. So for you FAMU folks out there, you Florida Agriculture and Mechanical University lovers out there, Marva Johnson, JD, is now the 13th president of the university. And a lot of people are not feeling her. They're not feeling the move. They feel that she's not qualified. They're feeling like, this is another DeSantis play because, Florida A&M is under the, Florida school system, just like University of Florida, Florida State, Florida A&M, all those schools, FIU, FIU now's president is former Lieutenant Governor DeSantis. Nice $1 million a year check. That's a hell of a soft landing for the Lieutenant Governor, down at FIU. So DeSantis, to his credit, let's give folks their credit. To his credit, he studied the levers of power. He studied what was going on, and he's pulling the levers. He's pulling the lever every way he can, even all the way down to the local school board. He pulling those levers, and he got, political opponents, appointments in there. Even in Miami-Dade, bruh. Even in Miami-Dade, they came in and removed fluoride, bruh. Removed fluoride, where the dentist they came in and said, bruh, the fluoride is removing 25%, of tooth decay. Automatically just being in your faucet, your soda, in your water. And they came in there like, man, take it out. We don't want the chemical in there no more. And they, boom. They folks on there, they voted it out. And then DeSantis followed up. Now it's coming out of all of the state of Florida, bruh. We're in the FAFO period of time. And to go out on a point of personal privilege, I have to say, as y'all know, for the last 4 years, man, I've been, in the leadership of the local fraternity. And, our culminating event, is this derby. And so this was this past Saturday. Y'all see right there the mayor of Miramar rolling around. We had the regional vice president, of the entire situation, come down. Ralph Canal, y'all see him with the ascot. Had 5 of my LBs flying to town. LBs, Lion Brothers, for those who don't know. Those are the women of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, considered the first fam. That means 1908. And then you have 1906. That's the Brothers of Alpha Alpha. So as y'all can see, everybody's in there doing their thing. We had a great time. We had nearly 500 people, in attendance. The brother in the back is the assistant area director from Nassau. The first time, we got a brother from Nassau in the, we all just had a great time, man. I sent you another one. So those are the ladies doing their thing, and then you can see some of the brothers. This young lady right here, she just crossed, and I wrote a letter for her, the young lady in the white. And so it's good to see her do her thing. Her father, as a brother, was like, hey, she needs a letter. And, so she crossed about a month ago. And so to see her with the generations, representing, man, that's what it's all about. And of course, this is all for scholarships. So we'll be, awarding 5 young men scholarships, to go and do their thing. So yeah, man. Any questions? Yeah, that's that's the bros. If y'all see in the back, man, y'all saw the old man. Y'all see the old man. I promise that I promise that I give him 3, and I'll be in the back, So y'all see me in the back, doing my thing with the young college boys, just to let them know, man. I don't just talk about it. I be about it, and I just give them a little taste. So shout out to the bros from Todd Delta, the FIU, and the bros from Delta South of Florida Memorial. Man, had a great time. And with these playoffs, man, check this out. These young men, SGA, who's the has he won the Player of the Year yet, or they haven't announced it yet? Yeah.
That's pretty much a lot.
So they say he's probably going to get it, especially with Joker being eliminated. But I had no idea that Mikhail Alexander Walker, that they're cousins. So for those young men, man, to be facing off, man, to go to the conference finals, man, I like what, the NBA is right now, because I would say probably over the last 30 years, it really hadn't been more than 4 teams that really had a shot to win over the last 20, 30 years, bro. Like going all the way back to the Dr. J era. It's either going to be Philly, Boston, or the Lakers, right?
San Antonio snuck in there.
Then, doing that, then you had Houston snuck in for a minute, San Antonio snuck in for a minute. But, it wasn't like this now where Boston eliminated. Boston is gone. Golden State is gone.
I'm going with Indiana and Oklahoma because that's the youth. And I think
that's
what's really going to draw people to watch it.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
It's not just teams. It's a change. It's a change in the guard. The young guys coming in.
Hey, your boy from Cleveland is a beast.
Which one?
What you mean?
Mitchell?
No, Donovan Mitchell, man. Donovan Mitchell is a bona fide superstar. If we, had gotten him down for the Heat, bro, like Butler might have still been here. He had that dog. Because Donovan Mitchell, bro, when he played against the Heat, he wasn't even close. And had he not gotten injured, they may still be in it. And they got a squad. That guy Allen is a baller. Like they got ballers, man. I'm excited about the league. The Marlins, man, they doing their thing. They had a walk-off yesterday, Sanchez. They got all these brothers, man, with these Hispanic names, but they brothers. Like they straight up brothers, man. So they out there playing and pretending like they not us. And what is
they consider themselves white because they Spanish.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. So
Negro.
That's it.
Yeah. So Step, Teddy, y'all got anything, man? Y'all want to see our young boy? Got our young boy Paul. We're gonna put him on there, man.
Put him on the game.
Young guy, man. He's just sitting there. Paul, say what's up. All right. Future lawyer, man. This is what the future law looks like.
That's it.
Coming in. Seeing that, observing, man. So, as you know, man, I can't take it with me, bro. So, whatever wisdom I have, whatever, man, y'all always see. I try to impart it, in the next generation, man. I don't know how he ended up going to Clark. I ain't gonna hold that against him. You know what I'm saying?
He won the party.
He's I mean, some guys are just smarter than me. Some guys were just like, you know what, man, at the AUC, and people ask me all the time, say, man, you went to school just with all guys? I said, no, man, Spelman right across the street. And when you explain the AUC, like I took my economics courses I took at Clark. You have one book that has each one of the schools. Is that how they still do it?
No, it's split up there.
They split it up. So when I was there, they have one big book. And in that book, it'll have Spelman, it'll have Clark, it'll have Morehouse, and it'll have Spelman and Morris Brown. And then it'll have all the courses for each school. But then if you don't find the course that you want at the time that you want it, then you're allowed to go. So I would take one class at Spelman every year just so I, can go over there. I take one class at Clark every year so I could just go over there. And so, it worked for me. But for some folks, when they look at it, they're like, man, I don't want to go to school with just dudes. So I'm going to go to Clark where, you have men and women in the class and, going around. They have co-ed dorms or they still separate?
Not co-ed dorms, but you can see it's like they could be your neighbors, but not in the same dorm for sure.
So you could be at
What do you mean neighbors? In the same dorm, but just not the same dorm room?
Hall, but not in the
Right.
same.
See, that's man, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.